Tonight on Best Bits, Urbina gave Medic one of them Costco free samples.
Right, another southpaw.
So Medic gave him a 3-course meal back.
Nice right hand through the defensive. Hits. Right up.
Elijah Smith showed Toshiomi Kazuma what happened on August 9th in 1945.
There's the triangle.
Got him all the way up in it.
And he has
I mean, it's already time to get in there.
And Christian Leroy Duncan devastates Eric Anders. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at UFC Vegas 109. We're going to be going over the card, we're going to be recapping it, we're going to be going over some of the best bits. I mean, you've seen the best bits, that was at the start, because I don't blue ball you. Getting straight into it, the first fight of the night, Cody Brundage versus Eric McConaughey. I said in my prediction video, I like Brundage to win this fight. I thought, watching the fight, that Brundage had won the fight, but I did also say that Brundage fights the level, and he struggles to make it clear when it comes to a decision. A lot of the time, he just about does enough, he just doesn't do enough. So there you have it, a split decision in favour of Eric McConaughey. I picked Brundage. How unfortunate. Next fight was Gabriela Fernandez versus Julia Storyalenko. I picked Gabriela Fernandez. It was a trash fight. I watched one round of it. I was on my way back from a party and I was in the car and I watched Cody Brundage, Eric McConaughey on my phone, and then abandoned this fight after one round. So we're just going to move straight on because it was a terrible display of martial arts and I'm not surprised it went to a decision. Didn't predict as much. You can have that one. Yoros Medic versus Gilbert Urbina. I picked Medic. I got back to the house, whacked on the television, whacked on the UFC, grabbed my beverage, sat down, got comfortable, fixated my eyes on the screen, and Urbina drops Medic, and I was like, no, fuck, that's not good. That's not good for my picks. And then credit to Medic, man. Credit to Medic. Bit of a tongue twister for you there as well. Credit to Medic. He fought through it. He managed to get back up. He got back up in a minute 30 seconds later. Hit Gilbert with a knee and then dropped him with a left hand, I think it was. Just absolutely finished up lights out. A couple of ground and pound shots afterwards, just icing on the cake. But yeah, decent finish from Medic. I predicted the finish from Medic, so we're happy to get that one there. Now this one's crazy. This one was spooky. If I give me bothered to edit this spookiness in, I'll edit the spookiness in. This fight went exactly how I predicted. Now, in my prediction video, I was like, I'm picking Jocelyn Edwards. I've been riding high with Jocelyn Edwards recently, so we're sticking with her. I said that, you know, she's not to be underestimated in the ground game either. She got a decent bit of grappling that seems to be overlooked a lot of time. Underrated grappling for the women's division, I suppose. So I say this in my prediction video. I waffle on a little bit. I do a lot of waffling on, but I waffle on a little bit. And I say, you know, I wouldn't be surprised in this matchup if we see a Jocelyn Edwards sneaky submission. And lo and behold, in the fight, we almost get a Jocelyn Edwards sneaky suspicion. But then in my prediction video, I said, scratch that. We're going with the Jocelyn Edwards TKO. And right there in the fight, it happens right there. Jocelyn Edwards is getting a submission. She abandons the submission, gets the TKO. It was eerie to say the least. But yeah, and I even predicted the women to do a thing, and they did a thing. So yeah, Jocelyn Edwards, I'm like, you're becoming one of my new favourite fighters, which is bizarre. Decent fight though, decent finish from Jocelyn Edwards. Cachoeira, I said she's not a good striker. She's completely outclassed by Jocelyn Edwards, and that was plainly visible. Like everyone was, the commentary are making the joke like, oh, you know, we're not clairvoyant. We could see this and this knockout was coming. I could see this knockout was coming like days ago, days before the event, before the fight started. Like Cachoeira doesn't move right in the stand-up. She's powerful, but she's stiff and she don't move right. And Jocelyn Edwards took advantage, got the finish, got the knockout. So even though I predicted it, I was still a little bit surprised. My apologies, Jocelyn Edwards. On to the next one. Elijah Smith versus Toshiomi Kazuma. I picked Elijah Smith for this one, and I was expecting like, some fast hands and a knockdown and a ground and pound TKO finish. That's what I was expecting from this fight. And that's nearly what I got, because Elijah Smith was doing work. He was landing ground and pound shots. Kazima wasn't really doing anything. It was like, I turned to the missus and I said, man, this is like a really old school UFC fight. We've got one guy who's pretty decently well-rounded versus a guy that just grapples, that just does jiu-jitsu. Just a bit of jits, and that's literally what it was. Kazima didn't even throw any punches, didn't throw any strikes. He just clinched up, got taken down. Did a takedown, actually. He went for the takedown and then got reversed, and Smith ended up on top, and then he just went to his guard and just started throwing up every submission he knew. And Smith would just avoid the submission, land some strikes, avoid the submission, land some strikes. And it was repetitive like that for the entire round. And it's like, obviously Kazima doesn't want to get up, because Kazima's whole game is just grappling and jiu-jitsu. That's his whole game, evidently. We knew this going in, but that's his whole game. So kind of interesting. I wanted to see some more kind of scrambling, because normally the Japanese grappling, the style of grappling they have is scramble heavy. They just don't stop moving. Where Kazima just kind of got stuck on bottom and was just like, I'm just going to throw up every submission. I'm just going to go for a leg. I'm going to go for an arm. I'm going to go for a shoulder. I'm going to go for a bicep. I'm going to throw up a triangle. And the second that triangle went up, Elijah Smith was just like, all right, I'm done with you. And he lifted him into the air and just slammed him down. Excellent. Brilliant finish. I was worried for Kazima. Slow ref jumping in as well. Just kind of was like, oh yeah, I've got to, wow. Oh yeah, I've got to get in there and stop that. I mean, Kazima was all right. It was a rough one as well, because it was like, I seen it and immediately thought, ooh, was that a headbutt? Because I remember a fight not long ago, a slam like that being disqualified because there was a headbutt involved. But I suppose because Kazima's head hit the mat, and then Elijah Smith came down with the headbutt, but Kazima was already out, I suppose. That's kind of why it was allowed. But yeah, no one really mentioned the headbutt. I don't know, I just, in recent memory, I can't remember what fight it was exactly. If anyone knows and can be fucked to, let me know in the comments. But I'm sure there was a fight not that long ago where there was a disqualification because of a head clash in a powerbomb slam kind of situation. So I thought there was going to be kind of some sort of fucky-wuckiness like that. Didn't happen. Everyone just kind of glossed past it. To be fair, if he wasn't out, he was going to be out anyway. He was straight up and was still throwing shots. So say what you will, but yeah, I think that's a fair enough finish. Like I say, Kazima was out with the slam. The headbutt was just consequence of the fall, and then the follow-up shots. If he wasn't out, they definitely would have put him out. So yeah, decent fight, brilliant finish, highlight finish. Smith making a name for himself, really making a name for himself. That was a really good finish from Smith. Next up, Julius Walker versus Rafael Cachoeira. I'm fairly sure I picked Cachoeira, and it was alright. There was a few moments that was back and forth. Walker just kind of ran away with the fight though. Rafael just got tired, and it was kind of getting exposed here and there. So give it to Walker, give him his props. I did say he wasn't a slouch, but yeah, you can't win them all. But yeah, I picked Cachoeira to win this one. Didn't go my way. I agree, Julius Walker won that fight, so bad pick on my part. Apologies if that ruins the parlay. It was an okay, it was okay. It was alright. Next up was Christian Leroy Duncan versus Eric Anders. We rock with the UK fighters on this channel, so we were picking Christian Leroy Duncan even before the video started. I picked him by knockout. He gets the knockout. Beautiful spinning elbow, followed up with some punches. Beautiful work. Just a good level of cerebral. I think I said this in the prediction video, but just a high level cerebral fighter in the stand-up. Just kind of, you can see him visualizing the strikes before he throws them. You can see him thinking to himself like, I know what I'm going to do. You see him map it out. I'm going to throw this, and it's going to lead into this, and then I'm going to this. And if this lands, I'm going to be able to finish with this. You can see that kind of thought process. But it's it's not as slow as I describe it to you. It's like you see the thought, and then it's almost instantaneous. You see him map it out. You see it's like a flicker of the eyes of him mapping it out. It's really good cerebral style from Christian. Leroy Duncan gets the finish nice and early in the fight. Next up, G Matsumoto versus Miles Johns. I picked G Matsumoto to beat Miles Johns. I said it would be a close fight. It went to a split decision. I don't think it should have went to a split decision. I give the fight to G Matsumoto fairly handily. I think it should have been unanimous. But like I say, there was some strange stuff going on with the judging on this card. I can't say why. I couldn't tell you why. I don't get it. It was very bizarre. It was just bizarre. It was like one of the judges weren't really paying attention, I suppose, or maybe the angle. Maybe he was watching from a terrible angle. Maybe he had a terrible seat. Who knows? Next up was Andre Fili versus Christian Rodriguez. I picked Christian Rodriguez. Womp womp. I don't know. I thought C-Rod would be better with the grappling. I thought he'd be in there heavier. I thought once he got inside and managed to establish some sort of grappling, that he would be able to take more out of Fili. And it didn't work. Andre Fili was on point. He was good with the takedown defense. He was getting his back off the fence as well, not letting himself get pushed against the fence and held there as well. Like really active, really proactive with getting out of that position and getting away, and then really proactive with throwing shots on the break as well. Like when he was breaking off and he was throwing these elbows over the top as he was pushing off. And Rodriguez is shorter as well, so it's a lot easier to kind of frame off with the forearm and just turn it into an elbow. And he was kind of eating Rodriguez up with those as well. And it seemed like, I know it's a mad one to say, but it seemed like Rodriguez kind of was like, I need to keep doing this to stay in the fight, but I can't keep doing this to stay in the fight. But he's tough as nails, so he kept in there and he kept going. He was the favourite in this one as well, which is mad. Maybe I should only pick Christian Rodriguez when he's the underdog. But yeah, womp womp, my apologies again. Not actually did shockingly bad. I did worse than usual on this card with my picks. I think I got four or five wrong. And normally I'm only like a 2 wrong, 1 wrong kind of guy, you know. Maybe sometimes I get 3 wrong on a bad one, but this was especially bad for my predictions. So my apologies. Lucindo versus Angela Hill. I picked Lucindo. Angela Hill finally over the hill. Finally. Thank God. Yeah, an alright fight. Pretty boring, to be honest. I went to go refill on snacks and drinks away and all that. To be honest, I was confident in Lucindo. So, decent pick there, I guess. Look, what more do you want with me? Who else was predicting Jocelyn Edwards to go for the submission, abandon it, and then get the TKO? No one else said that was going to happen. That was perfect. No one else has predicted women's fights as well as me. Co-main event time. Steve Erceg versus Ode Osborne. I picked Steve Erceg. MMA Guru thinks Ode Osborne won the fight. I need to watch it back and see if there's more controversy than I thought. I thought it was a close fight. I thought Erceg was struggling to do enough to make himself the clear victor in this fight, and I was worried going into the decision for Erceg. Very worried, but I didn't think he had lost. I thought, okay, with the way the scorecards have been, this is going to be a weird split decision kind of thing, and maybe Erceg will get it, maybe he won't, but you know, either way it'll be his own fault for not making it clear enough, because he lost round 1, you know. So like it was an uphill battle for Erceg from that point. So yeah, so as well, I want, you know, Ode Osborne looked way bigger than Erceg. I go and take a look, and he's like a full weight class heavier for this fight. So Erceg's taking on short notice opponents that are way bigger than him as well. Just taking crazy matchups. Very interesting. I mean, good for Erceg on the pound for pound, I guess. I don't know. Crazy of Erceg to take that, but I guess he's just game. But yeah, Erceg managed to get the decision. There's a small faction out there, including the Guru, who think that Ode Osborne won it. I would need to watch it back. I picked Erceg, so I'm not inclined to argue with that decision. But you know, I maybe I could take a look. I do think it was I do think it was a close fight. So we'll have to say, I don't think it was in robbery territory, but I'm surprised it was unanimous with the way the rest of the card had gone as well. I was very surprised it was a unanimous decision. But when they said unanimous decision, I thought, oh, the Osbournes won this. To be honest, I heard unanimous decision and thought, oh, the Osbournes won this fight. And then they said Airseg, and I thought, whoa, I thought Airseg was going to win like a split decision or like losers. I thought it was going to, if it was going to go to a unanimous decision, I thought, oh, the Osbournes won this fight. Put it that way. And then if it had gone to a split decision, it was going to be like, oh, maybe Airseg won. So I don't know. But it went my way, so I ain't going to complain too much. Moving on to the main event. The big one, Roman Dolidze versus Anthony Hernandez. We picked Anthony Hernandez. It's a cardio machine, man. We said this in the prediction video. He's just got a way of draining the life out of you. He's got a way of draining life out of you. He makes you sleepy. Just great style, great grappling. I mean, everything I just follow up everything I said in the prediction video, really. I don't know. It's a shame for Dolidze because he had a clear game plan and it seemed like it was working. So every time Hernandez would try and engage in the grappling, Dolidze would go for a leg. But then, you know, it was like every time Anthony Hernandez would go for a takedown or go to initiate grappling, Dolidze would roll for a leg and he would attack the legs. And Anthony Hernandez would just simply say, okay, I'm not going to play that game with you. Poof. And just hop off and say, stand up. I'll just put you down again and score points. Like, it's all well and good being like, oh yeah, well, I'll just threaten with my guard and threaten with a submission. But if you don't get up and then do something, like, the reason people like Paddy and the reason people like Charles Oliveira, these guys who have a good ground game but don't rely on it, like use that as the fallback, like they get dropped and then just fall back onto the back and they're like, okay, come and get me. Oliveira's like known for it. Oh, I've been dropped. Okay, come and enter the guards. Come and jump into the guard because I'm rocked, but I'm not out, and I will submit you even while I'm rocked. Guys like that, like they're not like just rolling for legs over and over again. Like those guys, it's always like it's a fight, and it's more like to let myself get back up. It seemed like Dolidze was just like, he's gonna grapple with me, and I'm gonna get the submission because I'm gonna go for a leg, and that's as far as the game plan went. Whereas Anthony Hernandez was just kind of like, all right, well, I'll just reset and do it again because I'm scoring points every time I take you and dump you on your back and land a couple of pity patter shots. I'm scoring points on you, and I can just disengage, and you don't get my leg, and then you what? Now you're on your back. You've got to waste time getting up. You've got to waste energy getting back up. You've just wasted energy trying to entangle my leg and trying to hold on to it. I don't know. Anthony Hernandez just played it smarter. I feel like a lot of the time, a lot of the issues with jiu-jitsu and a lot of like grappling forms is that if you choose not to engage with it, that's its ultimate weakness. Like if you just choose not to engage with leg locks and you can just get out and you can recognize them. Like you have to know a leg lock to not engage with a leg lock. You have to know a bit of jiu-jitsu not to engage with jiu-jitsu. You have to know it's getting set up. But as soon as you see it, pop out, hop out of there, reset, make them get back up again. If they're going to rely on that part of that game, like make them have to get there themselves. And that's kind of what Anthony Hernandez did. He was just like, okay, well, if you're going to do that every time, I'm just going to reset and then put you back on that position. And it worked. He would get out, and sometimes he'd jump back in and he'd land some shots and he'd start working on a submission and he'd bail out again. And he'd come back in and he'd start it all over again. Or he'd get stood up and he'd start it all over again. And it just seemed like Dolidze was out of his depth, to be honest. The game plan wasn't fully fleshed out. Dolidze's whole game plan was just, I'm going to get a submission when he tries to grapple me. Whereas Anthony Hernandez was like, I have contingencies on contingencies. He's like Batman. He has contingencies on contingencies, you know? So, yeah, Hernandez, great win. Got the rear naked choke as well. Managed to get the submission in this kind of strange grappling match. But that goes to show as well that you don't need to... You can still engage in grappling and not engage in certain areas of grappling. So it's like... He doesn't need to... It's like if you watch my Hamzat video, like Hamzat won't engage with like someone with a high level guard. He won't enter their guards. Like he just won't do it, and that's smart. Like why would you even bother engaging with that? Like that should be if you're not confident in your like a certain area of your ground game with somebody, you should just I'm just gonna use that as an opportunity to get out of here. I'm just gonna escape in this moment now. But, you know, maybe that's something that more people should take a look at, because it seems to be a rising popularity in style, is to just disengage with grappling the second you don't like what's going on. It seems to work. And the guy's like, oh, that was when I was about to get my bit. You just took it away from me. Now I'm getting bogged. So, I don't know. But yeah, so that kind of sums it up. Great win from Anthony Hernandez. Great submission. I predicted a submission as well. So, on point there. I think I said round 3, not round 4. So, not fully accurate, but accurate enough, I suppose. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment down below. Like, subscribe for more. You know, you could always subscribe for more. But until next time, keep your chin down and keep swinging. Peace and love. I'll see you around.